free beer. Yeah, man. So my name's Kyle Clyser. I am from Uinta Brewing Company from Salt Lake City. So I just saw some of you have heard of me, some company, some of you have not. When you look at our cases, oh wow, sorry, that's badass. When you look at our name and you're out at the liquor store and you're like, Unita, what the hell does that say? Uinta. You can think of it as this. It's the Uinta mountain range out in Utah. It runs east and west. It's one of the few mountain ranges that run east and west. So that's where the name comes from. Or you can think of it much easier. And I had to think about this when I was doing my interview. And I'll get to this here in a minute, but I'm fairly new at the company. And I was doing the interview and stuff. And you're like, are you into... Back to what Chad was saying, who the hell makes beer in Utah? Or who the hell drinks beer in Utah? Not a lot of people, I can tell you that much. But we do, at Uinta, we are able to make anything, any style, any alcohol level. We can produce anything we want. They just have issues with how to consume it. So there's some small laws happening out there. And I'll be honest, I'm not well versed in the laws in Utah because I'm not from Utah. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. Actually, just north of that, a small little town. So I grew up on a small town of 750 people. I grew up on a farm, just an old farm boy. Stewartsville. You tell me you know where Stewartsville is? Yeah, Smithville Lake, yeah. So yeah, I used to go to Smithville and hang out once in a while. Got my driver's license in Plattsburgh. That's where I got my driver's license. So anyways, Stewartsville, Missouri, small town. We played 8-man football. That's how small this town is. I don't know who's familiar with 8-man football. Anybody even heard of that? That guy has. 8-man football. You get rid of 2 wide receivers and a tight end. It's just really simple. You get rid of 3 people. Small town. I was even in the band. I was in the marching band, played the drums, and so my routine on a Friday night was put on the pads, go stretch, get warmed up. And then take the shoulder pads off and put on my snare drum and go play the national anthem. Play the national anthem. Put the pads back on, go play a half of football, go back to halftime. And most people would go to the locker room and get the pep talk from the coach. No, I took the pads back off, put up the drums back on, did a halftime show, walked around, played the drums, did that shit. The coach said, "Hey, you're doing a great job. You're amazing." I'm like, "Thanks, coach. I know." Back out. I think my entire career we won like 4 games. So. That's a little brief history of where the hell I'm from. I'm just a small town guy. I've kind of gone through the ranks and done a lot of stuff. So my personal history, I just, grew up in a small town, said I'm out of here. I went to the big city of Columbia, Missouri, spent 6 years down there, just going to school. I went to Mizzou 3 times. I got kicked out twice, got in 3 times. If you can imagine, coming from a small town, my grades, were small. My grades were bad. They were small. My GPA was small. So bad grades, got kicked out of Mizzou, got in 3 times, finally got back into Mizzou, transferred to Columbia College, graduated with a business and sports management degree, thought I had it all figured out, and I went home to make pizza. And that was my first job out of school, was making pizza at my cousin's pizza place back home in St. Joseph, Missouri. So bear with me here. This is kind of a long story, but I want you guys to really understand where the hell I'm coming from. So I'm making pizzas, and one day it's lunchtime, and I hear this loud guy talking outside, and my sister was a waitress there. So I hear this guy talking to my sister. I'm like, "Who's this jabroni?" Talking to my sister, hitting on her. So I walk out there. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm the Miller Lite guy." And I was like, "Hey, awesome, cool. I'm Kyle. I'm the guy that makes pizzas." And we get to shooting the shit, like you do when you're he's having a few beers, and we get to talking. He said, "I need a salesman." I'm like, "Shh. I can do that. I love to sell beer." He said, "Come out to my warehouse tomorrow, fill out application." So, man, I'll tell you what, I didn't wait till tomorrow. I went there that day, filled out the application, brought it back, gave it to him, and waited. Called him and waited. And like 3 weeks later, I'm finally like, "Hey, Greg, hello, dude. Remember when you said you needed a salesman?" He's like, yeah, come in tomorrow. I got you. You're ready to go. I just need you to meet the owner. So I go in and I meet the owner, and this guy's name was Kevin, and he owns the distributor in St. Joseph. It's a Miller Coors warehouse in St. Joe, Missouri, really small. And Kevin used to play for the 49ers, so he's this mountain of a man. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He knows Montana. He's a big man, all right? I walk in and I shake his hand. "Hey, thanks." shake his hand, and I instantly just feel his bones cracking, like in his hand. Like, oh my God, this guy's not very strong at all. Turns out his hands are all arthritic and just ruined. So I get the job. I'm thinking I'm going to start selling beer. And surprise, no, Kyle, you are our relief driver. So I started my first day ever driving a beer truck, just kind of helping out where I could. So that's kind of how I started my plan. So you want me to start with this golden nail? Pause on the story. So everybody should have a golden nail in their hands, right? Here it is. Golden nail is our newest release from Uinta. It is designed to be just a really nice, sessionable beer, very easygoing. You can kind of smell like some biscuit, whatever. I mean, it's, not real hoppy, really balanced, really super easy to drink. Does anybody get anything different? Yeah, really easy to drink. So the cool thing about this beer, and you probably didn't see it, are these taped down too, Chad? Oh, man, I like Gorilla Tape. It's kind of tough to see, but what we're doing with the Golden Ale is we're doing it in conjunction with the National Park Service, United States National Parks. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They've kind of been in the news a lot the past couple of weeks. We didn't plan that, but we're working with them. Each run of cans is going to feature a different state or national park on it. So the first one we're running with is Yosemite. So if you're out at retail, if you see them back in the cooler, you'll see Half Moon from Yosemite here. Half Dome, thank you. Sorry, I'm saying it the Moonrise. I got moon on the brain. Yeah. So Half Dome, yeah. So you see Half Dome on there. That's the first run of cans. Once we run through those, we'll go on to Yosemite, and we'll go Great Smoky Mountains, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a really cool program. It's a really neat deal, and there's a text-to-win program to win a trip to a national park. Go to your local retailers to see that. It's just a really cool program. The beer is obviously fantastic. So if you see it out there, try it, grab it. Like I said, really, really balanced, really easy to drink. Willamette hops, super sessionable. It's really designed, when I think of this beer, and we don't get to do this a lot here in Missouri, this beer is designed for you to go scale a mountain, sit down, pull out your beer, pull out your camera, Instagram it, and then drink it. That's what this beer, I think, is made for. So, any questions about this beer or any comments? How about you? You like it? Does it pair well with your pretzel? I mean, everything pairs well with pretzel. So, awesome. All right, thumbs up on that one. That just came out I think it just showed up last week. So Brian, he knows where it is. Sorry, Brian. Text him. It's out there. Look for it in liquor stores everywhere. 5. Yeah, 5% ABV. Let me check my notes real quick. IBUs are IBUs are 21. Available year round. Good, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I had never had it until last week. I got some sample cans shipped to me to go out and, you sit down, you get it cold, you wait overnight to make sure that it's nice and perfect, and you sit down and open it, pour it in a glass, and you smell it, and, you do the A, TMF, and all that. And then my kid just started screaming. I was like, I'm just going to chug it. So just had to take it straight to the brain. But it is a very good beer. I do like it. Awesome. So, I'm a relief driver, right? Thinking I'm going to be a sales guy. I'm going to go out, sell beer, hang out. I'm 22 years old. This is going to be badass. No, you're a relief driver. So I had to figure out how to drive a truck, first of all. I had to get my CDL license, second of all. You guys have to parallel park a semi-truck to get your CDL license. Can you imagine that? There's a secret to it. You can do it. I've done it. It's not easy. You do one side, then you do the other side. So the trick is you learn one side really, really well, and then you just literally drive through the cones on the other side. That's all you got to figure out. So that's how you get your CDL license if you're trying to get into the beer biz. So I'm a relief driver for a year, and I'm like, this sucks, wheeling beer every day. It was a great job. I loved it. I was in the best shape of my life since high school, since I was that amazing football player I talked about. And But the hours, you're on a truck at 5 a.m. and you might get off the truck at 5 p.m. You might be off at 3 p.m. It just wore me out. And so finally one day I was like, Greg, the guy that hired me, I was like, what's your plan with me, man? I got a college degree, and there's nothing wrong with driving a truck, but like I'm looking to do something else, like something bigger and better. And he goes, I got something for you. I need an on-premise manager. And I'm like, all right, man, now you got my attention. So he promoted me to this on-premise manager role. Really, my job was to go out to bars in St. Joseph, Missouri, a little small town, and just plan parties, buy people beer, and hang out. I did that really, really well. And I got paid to do it. So I did that. I did that for a while. I did that for a couple years, and I had a blast. I met a lot of people. I went to a lot of different. I mean, you ever heard of Northwest Missouri State University? Anybody aware of that? Marville, as I call it. They win a lot of football national championships up there. I used to go up there every Friday. Green Friday is what we did. We'd go up to Green Friday and just hang out and drink beers. So that was fun. And then I met a girl, and then it wasn't so much fun. Then you're like, well, man, it's Friday night. I think I'd rather be with my girlfriend than at this bar. So I started thinking, I was like, I gotta move down there. She was in Kansas City, so she's in the big city. I'm in St. Joe, and 45-minute commute. And I'm thinking, I got to get down to this girl more often. So I'd go to Greg. I said, Greg, I love you. Thank you for everything you taught me. I'm taking my talent south. And so I moved to Kansas City, and I sold Red Bull for a little while, and that was kind of just something to get me out of town. And I got to Kansas City, kind of realized I missed the beer business. So the beer business is awesome. The beer business, you'll never get rich in the beer business, but you'll have a lot of fun doing it. So I got back into the beer biz at a distributor up there called Central States. So Central States is the Miller Coors warehouse in Kansas City. They take care of everything up there. And the cool thing about the building literally sits like that, like on the state line of Missouri and Kansas. So they can service both Missouri and Kansas. And even the beer inside the warehouse is on the Missouri or Kansas side. It's the craziest thing. There's a giant line in the warehouse, and Missouri beer is over there, Kansas beer is over there. It's insane. That distributor used to be owned by Joe Montana a long time ago. It was called Big Sky back then when he owned it, Big Sky, Montana. So once he left Kansas City and he sold it out, it's a local family owns it now. So Central States is a good-sized distributor. They have a lot of brands, like I said, Miller Coors, and then they have a lot of other craft brands, Boulevard, Sam Adams, Founders. The list goes on and on. So I got to learn a lot more than just Miller Lite and Coors Light when I started working for them. My job with them was I was an on-premise rep, so I had about 90 to 100 bars in North Kansas City. And that's what I did for 4 years, and it was awesome. I just sold beer, and we had a great portfolio. We had a ton of beers. Like I had Boulevard, so it was really super easy to sell in Kansas City, if you can imagine. You just walk in, you're like, hey, you're going to put Boulevard on tap, right? And they're like, yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I? So my job was awesome. And then, it was about 3.5 years, there's an office. Every time I walked into the warehouse, there's an office to my right, and there's this cute blonde sitting there. I'd wave at her. Hey, what's up? Her name's Kate. What's up, Kate? And then one day I just sat down and I started talking to her and started shooting the shit. And the next thing I know, I'm dating her. And then 6 months later, I'm engaged to her. And then 6 months later, we're married. 6 months later, guess what happened? Yeah, she's pregnant. So that was a while ago. So we have a 1.5-year-old. His name's Chase. He's the coolest kid ever. No offense to your kids or grandkids. My kid's pretty awesome. So I met my wife at Central States. So beer has been very, very good to me. That's the whole point of this whole long story, is that beer has been very, very good to me. It's done me right, and I love it. And I meet some great people like Chad over here and Brian. It's just really cool. So that's kind of my story. That's kind of how I got here. And it's a unique story. It's a fun story. I don't think a lot of people have that same story where I literally started on a truck and just kind of worked my way through the ranks. It took a lot of time, took some bumps, but it was cool. So, chapter 2. Baba Black Lager, right? So a lot of you have probably seen this beer if you go to a liquor store and you look, you're like, what's this beer with a sheep on it? What's up? This is our Baba Black Lager. Interesting story about the name Baba. I don't know if you probably don't know this. The founder of our brewery, this is his grandmother's name. This is what he called his grandma, Baba. So that's where the name came from. What's that? I'll research that. I don't know. I just know that they said they were going through the names. I'll tell you the whole story. My boss, I was going through orientation, and he's like, "Yeah, we had Baba Black Lager before it was Baba. We were all sitting down trying to figure out what to call it, and it was between Baba and whatever the other name was." And he's like, 50% of people voted for Baba, and 51% voted for Baba, 49% voted for this other name, and he was in the wrong. Like his team didn't win, whatever. And he was sitting around and talking to somebody. He's like, I just really freaking hate that name. It's so stupid, Baba. That's so dumb. And this person chimes in and goes, well, that's his grandma's name. And he's like, yeah, it's a great name. Love it. So, Baba Black Lager. This is our organic black ale. Black Lager, sorry. Thank you. Let me go through my notes real quick. Did I tell you guys I'm 5 weeks into this job with this company? Well, I have these notes. I wish I could tell you I knew everything about this brewery, but I have some notes here. So, organic black lager. Obviously, you smell it, you're going to get roasted chocolate, maybe some smoke, a little bit, coffee, toffee. 4%. You've been doing your research. Did you do pre-homework? You're right. Yeah, 4%. So the Baba was one of the first Uinta beers that I ever had, personally, just going around and buying stuff. And I really liked it. It's just super easy to drink, but you still get that nice, dark, roasted malt as well. So I really enjoyed it. It's a really kick-ass beer. Like I said, it is considered one of our organic brands. We use organic German Hallertau hops. I said that Hallertau wrong. Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of black lagers out there. I mean, there's a few, but I think ours kind of sets itself apart. So it's really delicious, like I said, and super sessionable. So any other comments, questions, concerns about Baba? On the name or the beer? Both. I'm open to anything. Was Grandma the black sheep of the family? I'm assuming she was, because if she is a black sheep, she's on the label now. IBUs are 38 for those of you asking at home. Yes. What does everybody think of the Baba? You guys like it? Is this a beer that, it's kind of a weird question, I guess, but is this a beer that you guys would drink in the summer? Or is this dark you don't want to drink in the summer? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm curious too, because that's... Flow trip. Yeah, you can have all theirs. Yeah, that's a great fall beer. I just think it's interesting that beer companies over the last few years have sort of convinced us that we're supposed to be drinking dark beer in the winter and light beer in the summer, and I have no idea why. Because this is a really light beer. Yeah. It's not light in color, it's a really light beer. So I would love to drink this, camping. We would love you to keep drinking it. Yeah, this was one of the earlier beers. So we have a lot of innovation going on, and I'm going to touch on that here in a moment. This is one of our, I wouldn't say our earliest beers. Our earliest beers were our Cutthroat Pale Ale, which is known as Pale Ale here, Kings Peak, some other stuff that's not even really available here. A lot of our stuff is available, like completely, all of it's in Utah. And, we get stuff in Missouri and Kansas when I'm over there. We kind of get our core brands, you might call it, so like Hop Nosh Tangerine, Detour, Baba. So yeah, it's definitely, I won't say it was one of the first beers, but it's one of the original ones that we brought to the state of Missouri, if that makes sense. So, it's funny you say that, because going back in a little history, I guess I'm kind of fast forwarding a little bit. I recently worked for a company called Miller Coors. That's where I came from. I don't know if you ever heard of them or not. They've been in the news. They've sold out, whatever. And I was specifically targeted on a brand called Blue Moon and then another brand called Leinenkugel. And Leinenkugel, fantastic stuff, and I really enjoy their beers. Creamy Dark. Who else had that? She's in the restroom. Yeah, she okay. So Creamy Dark, it reminds me a lot of this beer. It's actually really light, dark beer. as something you could drink in the summertime. So that when you said that, I was like, I instantly thought of creamy dark. So I'm not saying go out and buy a bunch of creamy dark. You know, buy Baba Black Lager, but you know, it's just kind of cool how those beers, how we've trained people. When I would sell it, they were like, "Nah, man, it's dark. It's summertime. You don't want it." And you're like, "No, actually, it's really easy to drink. It's super sessionable." So, wow, I need to probably move on to the next one. What do we have here? This was Hop Nosh, right? Any comments, questions? I haven't said an F word yet, right? One? Shit. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, good. Well, if you want to hear another funny story, I mean, you've heard a few. I was at the doctor, my son's doctor, with my wife, and we're sitting there, and it's the year appointment, and they're measuring and stuff, and you know, the doctor's talking. I was like, you know, sometimes he fucking does this and does that, and the doctor's like, you know, he's gonna start repeating you really soon. And I was like, oh yeah, shit, okay, so. And again, she was like, so you might want to curve that. And I was like, yeah. So I'm trying to work on the cursing. So, you know, if I do say an F word, just tell me, whoever tells. Yeah, I mean, it's bad. Okay. They do. It's pretty ridiculous. Hop Nosh IPA. This is our number one beer. If you're going to say a flagship beer or whatever, this is our flagship beer for the entire country. This is what I leave. When I walk into a bar or a liquor store or whatever, I say, hey, do you have Hop Nosh IPA? So funny story is it used to be called Hop Notch, and we had to change the name because there's another beer out there called Hop Notch, and I don't know who makes it. But if anybody else knows, tell me. But it's out there. So Hop Nosh IPA. So this is a very balanced, really straightforward IPA, in my opinion. And I'm not a big IPA guy, so bear with me. If you are, kind of help me out here, because I could use some help on this one. But I'm not I feel like it's very balanced, very easy to drink. IBUs are 82, 7.3 on the alcohol. But it's good. It's not overpowering. It's not going to burn your tongue up. You know, you could have a few of these, then switch to a golden ale or something, in my opinion. So, what is any comments on that? 7.3. Yeah. Yeah, Hop Nosh is fantastic. So, like I said, this is our number one beer in the entire country. This is what we lead with. And cans, obviously, are the perfect vessel now, since and so you'll see it out there. If you see 6-pack cans, that store's doing the stuff right. So I really enjoy it. You know, like I said, I'm not a huge IPA guy. I'm just kind of still dipping my toe in that water. I'm more of a malty guy. I like the dark stuff. I'm still kind of trying to work on my IPA tongue and get my taster right on that. But I like it. It's fantastic. Yes? I'll tell you the two hops. It's Galaxy and Chinook. Now, whether it's taste or aromatic, I'm not sure what the order is. But that's the two hops in there. Now, if you've ever seen it, we have a Hop Nosh Tangerine. That's another version we make. And we introduced that last year as a seasonal. Had really good success with it, so we made it a full-time beer. That beer is the Hop Nosh base. We add some Citra hops, and then we take a tangerine puree, throw that in there as well. And so what I like about that beer personally is that the tangerine kind of balances out the bitterness a little bit, the sweetness, the citrus, and all that. It actually makes a really nice, smooth beer. I actually prefer the tangerine over the regular Hop Nosh personally, but some people like cucumbers better pickled. So it is what it is. Any other questions about Hop Nosh? Nope? Okay. So I was a sales rep at Central States. Went to Miller Coors, met a wife, had a kid, and today I'm standing here in front of you. So that's kind of my path to the beer business. It's pretty fun. Yes? Right now? Yes. Uinta is my only... Yeah, Uinta, we're so when I was a sales rep for the distributor, I got on with Miller Coors, and I did that for a year and a half. And then, just by the grace of God, I got lucky, and I knew a connection with Uinta, and I sent my resume to this guy who's the CEO of the place. I just happened to know him, and And he put me onto this guy who's in Boston, who's my boss, and he's got the entire east side of the country, and that's how I showed up. So it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty wild. I'm sure most of you guys know, it's about who you know in life, and I just happen to know the right people every time. And so I'm sure my luck will run out eventually, but, so far, so good. So you guys didn't come here to talk about, yes, 38. Yeah, all brewed in Utah, and I'm getting ready to touch on the brewery stuff now. All brewed in Utah, right there. We're in 38 states. Getting ready to open up Oklahoma and Tennessee. Also, I think we're going to open up Hawaii. So for your next Hawaii trip, hopefully you'll find some of our stuff there. So enough about me and my life and my handsome good looks and all that. The brewery. The brewery's been around since 1993. Our owner, founder, decided, why not just go to Utah and make beer, because that makes sense, right? So in 1993, he started out there and found some early success. He started an old mechanic shop, actually, is where he started. People were literally, and if you go on our website, you'll see the story, but people were still like dropping cars off to be serviced, like months after the mechanic shop had closed. So that's where he started, in a mechanic shop. Cutthroat Pale Ale was his first production-sized beer. So, like I said, you won't see it as we talked about this earlier. Cutthroat Pale Ale, you'll never see it called Cutthroat outside of Utah. Everywhere else, it's just called Uinta Pale Ale. And he has a handshake agreement with the guys from Odell, because they make a Cutthroat as well. And they just basically said, hey, at the time it happened, they were like, hey, just don't call it Cutthroat anywhere else. And he was like, yeah, sure, it won't be a problem. I don't really know what's going to happen. And next thing you know, we're in 38 states, and so it's just Uinta Pale Ale. So you'll see that out there. It's still got the trout on it and a red can. But that was our first production-sized beer. That was in 93. So 96, he installed the first bottling line. And then just things started snowballing from there. 2000, began construction on a new brewery. Had a 40-barrel system installed, which when I went out for orientation a few weeks ago, that's our pilot system now. It's just this 40-barrel system. It's kind of tucked in the corner of our new brewery, and that's just what they play around on now, which is pretty cool. We got the brewery tour was really neat. So a lot of neat stuff. If you're ever out there, stop by. There's a nice, the brewery. You can do the tour. There's a pretty cool little brew pub. They got some food, and they got the whole array. They got more beers on tap there than we carry in Missouri. They just got some really cool stuff. So 2001, this is a pretty cool fact. It went 100% wind powered. So our brewery was 100% renewable energy, whether it's wind or sun. Now we have solar panels now, but back in 2001, he bought power from a Wyoming wind farm. So thank you. So that is a pretty cool fact and something we're really proud of. And if you look on our cans, if you look on our stuff, Earth, Wind, and Beer, that's kind of one of our mottos, because we're really big. I mean, we're really big into sustainable, renewable energy and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So I'm proud to say that. We'll take a break here. What is Rise and Pine? Perfect. Okay. How's everybody doing? Everybody got enough to eat and enough beers? Okay, yeah, it's going to get weird now. Have I said anything to offend anybody yet? I don't want to do that. Good. Rise? Yeah, you're offended. We're going to have a doobie here in a little bit. Well, you and I have a doobie, and then we'll go outside and have a doobie. We're going to finish up with doobie. So this is Rise and Pine. This is our winter seasonal. So most people, and I've seen in the past, like, oh, let's make a gingerbread beer, or let's do an oatmeal stout, whatever. This is our Rise and Pine. This is a hoppy dark ale. So when you try it, when you smell it, you do your thing. You get a nice chocolatey roast, but you still get a little bit of that bite from the bitterness. Simcoe hops. And it's just a really cool beer. It's a really unique beer. That's what I like about it. So like I said, 4 weeks into the job, I've tried some of the stuff. Rise and Pine, I sampled it 2 weeks ago at a liquor store in Kansas City, and I was all set up, and I had the Hop Nosh, Tangerine, the Detour double IPA, and Rise and Pine, and everybody's like, hey, let me try that one, because it was dark, And it was kind of cold that day. I'm like, yeah, sure, man, try it out. And everyone's like, that's really good. I'm like, yeah, actually, that's a fantastic beer because it gives you the best of both. It kind of gives you that chocolatey, malty roast, but you also get the little hop at the end. And I really like it a lot. What are you thinking? You got a good smeller on you. A little bit, yes. A little like legacy. Yeah, I can see that. 85 IBUs on this. 7.5. What's that? In a row. Yeah, in a row. 7.5% alcohol. So this one's done well for us. I don't think we did this last year. Like I said, I'm still new. I think it's a good beer. I think we'll see it again next year. I like it a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Good, because it's on tap here. So when you come do your homework next week, just be like, I'm going to Rise and Pine all day. Take 2 growlers home tonight. It's going to be a long weekend, guys. There's no football this weekend. You guys in the back, I know you're like, what the hell? No. Yes. What's a growler? Nice. Fresh meat. You are. So a growler can be 32 ounces, 64 ounces. 64, okay. Glass bottle. Or, yeah. I think Missouri state law says is you can sell the minimum, I think 32 is a minimum. 64 is also an option. And you fill it up, you pay the total, and you go home and drink it with you and your friends. Utah to do that, which is pretty cool. So again, renewable energy, that's awesome. We like that stuff. That's cool. 2009, we began our barrel aging program. 2010, we installed what's called a crooked line. We bought this crooked line. We bought this line from Italy. It's called the crooked line. So then you'll see the 750s right here, something like this. This might be a prize here in a little bit for a lucky winner. The crooked line was installed, and we were able to like cork and cage stuff. So that added a nice little option for us to do some cool stuff with, like I said, the barrel aging and things like that. So 2011, we added solar panels. I think I talked about that already. 2013, we started canning. We bought a canning line. So it used to be only bottles, then went to cans. Obviously, I think if you go out, you see cans are kind of taking over. And that's awesome. The cans are great. Like I said, they're the perfect vessel. So, tomato. Right. I like cans personally. I grew up drinking cans. My wife fucking hates cans. I'm like, hey, sweetheart, I'm going to get it. And she's like, oh, can we get bottles? I'm like, no. I'm going to get cans. I'm going to fit my koozie better. So she gets her bottles, and I get my cans. So I love cans. Cans are badass. They go everywhere. And they recycle. So do bottles. 2013, we also added our 135 barrel system. 2015, we added more fermentation tanks. So really, the only thing that was like stopping us from making more and more beer was fermentation. So we added more fermentation tanks. Our capacity now, as of adding these new tanks, our capacity as of today, as I stand right here on the stage talking to you, is 200 barrels a year. So we make a good amount of beer, and we sell it in 38 states. You just said your capacity right now is 200 barrels a year? Yeah. 200,000. That's what I meant. That sounds better. Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. I think whenever I was at the brewery, I had a few doobies, and he kept saying 200, and he meant 200,000. So sorry about that. Hey, guess what? Stick around for session 2, and that will be correct. Maybe, yeah, probably not. I'm going to need to borrow somebody's pen again. So our capacity is 200,000 barrels. We're the 38th largest craft brewery in the nation. So we're up there, and people know us. We're kind of a big deal, which is awesome. And we're out there. So if you see us in your liquor stores, check us out. And like I said, there's some new beers. We've got the Golden Ale, which was just released. Hop Nosh Tangerine, which are kind of our core. The Duo Detour, or I'm sorry, Detour Double IPA. The Duo is a different deal. Detour Double IPA is our double IPA. It's fantastic, and it's priced very well. And it's super balanced. Like, I had never had it until last week of the sampling, and it's just such a unique beer. It's really malty, but yet you get the bitterness, and it's just a really kick-ass beer. It's also 9%, so it really gets you where you want to be. Like I said, we're available in 38 states, opening Oklahoma, Tennessee, and we got some plans to work on Hawaii here in the near future. So that's really the story in the brewery. Is there any other questions other than my mess up with the capacity levels? Hey, look at there. You're getting a Dubhe. Golden Ale? Oh, Dubhe. Yeah, perfect. So, our Imperial Black IPA. It's one of our, I wouldn't say it's limited, but it's one of our seasonal special release beers, essentially, right? And so it comes in a 4-pack bottles is the only way to get it, and draft. But really just a kick-ass beer. Got my notes right here. Guess what? I'm not even going to look at it. Falconer's Flight hops, which is a badass hop, just because it sounds awesome. And I will say this. When I saw the name Dubhe, I kind of laughed because there is a little hemp seed oil in this. So you're like, oh, hemp seed, Dubhe. My guy here in the front row gets it. He understands. But if you look at the packaging, and you probably don't have it right in front of you, but if you look at it, you see the Big Dipper in the packaging, right? Here. The Big Dipper. Thanks. That star in the corner of the Big Dipper is called the Dubhe star. I had no idea. So that's where, everybody's like, oh shit, this guy's legit. That's where it's got its name. So that's pretty cool. I had no idea. I thought I was, making hemp references the whole time. But it's all about that star. And so, I don't know if you can tell, our packaging is, our graphics, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I buy beer because the label, or I buy wine because the label's cool. Our labels are kick-ass. Whoever the artist is doing this stuff does a great job. And when I looked at this one, I was like, that's cool, the Big Dipper. But the old Dubhe star, pretty awesome. So, Imperial Black IPA. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had this one for a long time. It's dark. It's good. I like it. Everybody tried it? Yeah, you dig it? That's really good. Does anybody know what the human tongue IBUs, like what the capacity is? Is it like 77, 80? You come in and take a guess, just like a guess of what the IBUs are on this? You're lower. Price is wrong. You're 10 off. It's 99. So, it's 77. Yeah, 99. So, but to our tongues, it's 77. Oh, no. Don't bring me the right beer.
Calling a flag on the play.
Flag on the play. 109. Here, you can have that. Yeah, I don't know. Our website put the wrong shit on it. That's a good call, though. I will need that back. Yeah. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, so it's really, really bitter, but your tongue can't tell anything past 77, so